Yes guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the Liga MX Clausura playoff tournament. We're here right now in Mexico City, and I feel like for a lot of people who probably don't know much about Mexican football, here's the right place to be. We're going to talk all about how the league here in Mexico works, how the playoffs work, who's left in the tournament, and who can we see likely go on and pick up the trophy in a couple weeks time when we get to the final. So make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down below, and ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the video. So let's get straight into it. So the Liga MX, which is the top flight, it's the best football league here in Mexico. It has 18 teams from all over the country representing different cities and different states. But anyway, you have two parts to the season actually. It's very convoluted. It's kind of strange the way they do it here in Mexico. But anyway, you have the Apertura season and you have the Clausura season. So you have two different seasons that take place in one calendar year, basically putting together a single season, but you can have two different league winners. It's kind of complicated to explain. But anyway, so the Apertura, which runs from August to December, that is then between those 18 teams. They'll all play each other once. They'll play 17 games between August and sort of November time. And then the top 6 teams, they'll automatically qualify for the playoffs. They are confirmed, they will be playing. Then you have teams that finish in 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. They will make up the play-in tournament. So anyone who follows basketball, the NBA, you'll kind of have an idea of how this works. You'll have teams who finish 7th and 8th, they'll play each other in one particular game. The winner of that game, and it goes to penalties, extra time and penalties, the winner of that will then qualify for the playoffs as the 7th seeded team. And then the loser of that 7th and 8th game, they are still in with a chance of qualifying because they will play for the 8th seed and they'll play the winner of the 9th and 10th seeded teams. So whoever loses that 9th and 10th seeded game, they are out. They will not be playing in the playoffs. But the winner of that, they'll have one chance of making it in, and that's if they beat the loser between 7th and 8th. Complicated, right? Anyway, so if we look at the Apertura season that just happened, you saw Club America, based here in Mexico City from the Azteca arena that I'm sure everyone knows. They ended up winning the title. It was their 14th Liga MX title. It was a big deal for them because it really kind of confirmed that they are the most successful team at present here in Mexico, and they won it quite convincingly. They won. They didn't lose a single game in the regular season, and then playing all the way through the playoffs, they looked incredibly strong. Didn't ever look like it was going to be in doubt. But what I like here in Mexico is, as we talk about two different seasons, the Apertura and the Clausura, there's quite a lot of different winners. You know, you can mention Club America, they won the last Apertura. Last season's Clausura was won by Tigres. You've also had winners from Cruz Azul, Toluca, Pumas many years ago. That's my team in Mexico at the moment. You know, there's been a lot of different winners. So it's quite interesting in that respect that every year there seems to be someone different winning it. Anyway, if we now come back to the current existing running tournament, the Clausura, we are now getting into the semi-final stage of the tournament, so we're getting to the business end. The quarterfinals just finished this past weekend, and then the 4 teams that we're going to be seeing in the semi-finals are Club America. They're going to be going back to back. I'm sure a lot of their fans will be hoping. You've got Chivas Guadalajara, they'll be playing against each other in the semi-final, and then the other semi-final is between Cruz Azul, again from Mexico City. We've got 2 representatives, and we have Monterrey. So we have teams representing the 3 big cities here in Mexico. We have Mexico City, we have Guadalajara, and we have Monterrey. Perfect. So if we have a look into the first game, we have Chivas against Club America. Now, if anyone knows anything about Mexican football, this is the biggest rivalry. It's your Real Madrid Barcelona, it's your Liverpool Man United. It's a big game. It's your PSG Marseille. That sort of level. And the fans, they hate each other. They absolutely hate each other. There's a big difference in culture. There's a big difference in kind of belief between the two clubs. Chivas, if you don't know, they only ever field Mexican players. It's the club of Javier Hernandez, who's gone back to play there. Carlos Salcedo played there as well, amongst many, many other great Mexican players in history. So they have that mentality of, okay, we are the club of Mexico. We are Mexico's club because we only play players from this country. Perfect, that's great. And then you have Club America. They are seen as the club with the most money. They are owned by a media corporation here in Mexico, so they kind of take on that responsibility of being the glamour, the glitz of Mexico. So you can see there's a kind of a culture clash between these two, and there's a big, big reason why they don't hate each other. If we get back to on the pitch action, they've played each other quite a lot in the last year. This time last year, they played each other in the Clausura semi-final. Perfect. It was a great game. It was my first ever Clásico de los Clásicos, the classic of all classics, is how they call it here in Mexico. And it was incredible. You saw in Chivas, in Guadalajara, Club America won the first game, but it came back here to the Azteca. And in quite dramatic fashion, as everything is done here in Mexico, Chivas won the semi-final. They made their way to the final, where they unfortunately then lost in extra time of the second leg against Tigres. So interesting stuff. Since then, they played each other in the Apertura regular season. As I said, everyone plays each other one time. And Club America won 4-0. Absolutely battered them, and they felt like they had something to make up for. You know, their pride was hurt after losing the semi-final. Seeing their bitter rivals go to the final, it hurt them deeply, and then they came back with vengeance in the very first game next time that they saw each other. Then, fast forward a few extra months, they played each other in what was quite a boring 0-0 draw in the Clausura regular season. This is then after Club America won their 14th Liga MX title. And then, just to kind of add a little bit more of a spice to this fixture, they played each other in the CONCACAF Champions League, which, for anybody who doesn't know, and I'm sure if you see my previous video of me going to a game in the CONCACAF Champions League, it is the Champions League of North America. So typically, the winners are from Mexico, but you also see Seattle Sounders in the US, they've won this tournament as well, representation from Canada, you know, and all Caribbean states as well. You see Costa Rica, Nicaragua, all these countries as well take part. Anyway, they played each other in the quarterfinals of that tournament, where, again, Club America dominated. They won the first game in Guadalajara 3-0. Okay, they lost the second leg in Mexico City, but they made their way to the semi-finals. And then, yeah, that's when we then get to this point right now, where we're talking about two teams at the very highest level here in Mexico. They will be playing against each other. Both teams have a good record, but Club America, they are the reigning champions here in Mexico. They are the top seed. Okay, they got through a little bit luckily against Pachuca, which I'll talk about in a second, but they are the first team. They are the top team in this league. And yeah, so first of all, let me know what you think. Who's going to go through from this game? Is it going to be Mexico's people? Is it going to be the so-called representation of Mexico in Chivas Guadalajara? Or is it going to be the informed team right now, the team that everyone in Mexico is talking about, Club America? Be sure to let me know down below what your prediction is for these two leg games. And then we have the other semi-final. So you have Cruz Azul, like I say, they're based here in Mexico City. They'll be playing against Monterrey. Two teams that got through quite interesting ties. Both were playing sort of intra-city derbies. You have Monterrey, they were playing in the quarterfinals against Tigres, two teams from the same city. And then also Cruz Azul, they beat Pumas, two teams from Mexico City. So they both kind of got through very, very difficult ties and believe that they can go on to really win the whole thing, you know. And this is kind of an interesting tie. The two teams played each other only in regular season competitions this season. You saw one game in the Apertura, one game in the Clausura, and both, interestingly enough, ended in 2-1 victories to Cruz Azul. Cruz Azul are the second seeded team from the regular season. They had a great run during the regular season, but in the Apertura they didn't even qualify for the playoffs, and that's what makes it so interesting, is that from August to December they played terribly. They finished 15th, I think there was two teams that finished below them, maybe 16th, sorry. And then you got Monterrey, they are constantly playing in the playoffs. They pretty much always make it there, but very rarely make it to that final stage, and very rarely actually go on to win the whole thing. So this game, it could go either way. I mean, it seems like Monterrey have this kind of mentality challenge that for whatever reason they don't believe in themselves to kind of make it that much further. But in saying that, the fact that they've beaten Tigres, a team from their own city, to get to this point, is that the motivation that they needed to help them really go on and challenge for the title. I'm not too sure, we'll have to wait and see. But Cruz Azul, the same thing applies to them. They beat Pumas. Okay, this time around they were actually expected to win because Pumas, they finished 8th in the league, and as I explained the play-in rule, they beat Pachuca and then they finished 7th. So we'll have to wait and see how this one plays out, but it's a super interesting time between two very good teams. Cruz Azul, in the way of beating Pumas, were very dominant. Okay, Pumas had kind of an interesting last 10 minutes where they thought that maybe they could fight their way back into the tie, but throughout the two games, Cruz Azul were the better team. They've been extremely dominant on their way through the sort of regular season campaign as well. And I'm sure with their 2 wins against Monterrey this season that they'll have full of confidence that they could go on and potentially have an all Mexico City final if they qualify, and Club America if they qualify as well. But yeah, with that as well, who's going to make it through to the final? Is it going to be an all Mexico City final, or will Chivas and all Monterrey make it as well? Yes, my people, so that rounds up the kind of preview to these semi-finals. I've explained a little bit about how football here works in Mexico. We've got a Clásico of all Clásicos on one half of the tie, and on the other you've got 2 teams that will be full of confidence, full of belief that they can go on and make it to the final themselves. But we're now here at an exciting stage. It is the real business end of the tournament. Only a few games to go before we understand and learn who's going to be the champions of Mexico, of Liga MX. Be sure to let me know down below, guys. It's been a pleasure, and if there's any videos you want to see from me, be sure to make sure that you let me know. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and until next time guys, peace out.